Hey friends, welcome to day 4 of MERMAY 2018. It is a Friday, so I'm feeling really good weekend vibes. I know that my weekend isn't any different to any other weekday, but everyone else seems happier on the weekend, so that really does affect me when I'm having interactions with those happy people. So I'm really excited. I hope you're having a great weekend wherever you are, or super excited for your weekend, or if you're watching this in the future, I hope you had a great weekend on May the 5th and 6th, 2018. Anyway, let's just chat about the elephant in the room, the fact that this video looks half finished and we're not even a minute in. I want to just say, typically I remember, if I'm filming bird's eye, I know I have to cheat my wrist off to the side so that you can see the lines that I'm drawing as I'm illustrating something. I just did not remember, I just didn't remember today, and I didn't even have the angle at a place where you could even try and catch a glimpse. So of the hour of footage that I had doing this illustration, I could get out 7 to 8 minutes of real-time footage where you could kind of catch a glimpse of it coming together. So I just want to apologize for that. Usually I remember, but I completely forgot today. So that's just what it is. It is what it is, Santa, as Mariah Carey said. Is that Mariah? Steve says that all the time. I'm pretty sure it's Mariah Carey when she doesn't she forget her lyrics and she's like, it is what it is, Santa. Or is it when she's lip syncing? Have you seen that lip sync of Mariah Carey at Christmas when they have the what she really sounds like? It's a scream riot. Anyway, so I hope you're okay with the clips that I managed to scrounge together. There's a lot of crazy editing going on. There's a lot of splicing, a lot of cropping, a lot of jumping back and forth. But I wanted to only include clips that I felt like were worth it. I didn't think you needed to see my wrist just crawl across screen and not see anything happen. So yeah, we've managed to get this much together. Let's talk about the actual piece itself. So if you remember recently, I released a tutorial that was called Collage and Illustration Tutorial. I'll leave a little description card up the top. Basically, that was where we destashed a lot of our, random scrap papers, stickers, old illustrations, bits and pieces. We collage them together in some haphazard kind of way and make it like a creature or a character or something. Then we photocopy it and then we get our light box out and we trace it. Or you can get a tracing paper and just trace it. Then we're left with a line art that we can color and use that's a really eclectic mix of elements that make up a new creature or a character design. I think there are some real practical applications with that tutorial in character development, but obviously whatever you wanted to use it for is a-okay with me. Now, people have noticed that I've been illustrating in this weird kind of way lately, where I've just been taking my mechanical pencil and going to town with these weird little creatures. Now, when I'm on the go, unfortunately, I don't have a travel version of my photocopier and my light pad. So I'm kind of at the mercy of doing this tutorial in a bit of a different way, which I have kind of taken to urban sketching in the sense that I'm sitting down and I'm drawing elements of my surrounding, but I'm collaging them down into a character on the paper as I do it. And it's been super eye-opening. I did this in Disneyland as well. It was so fun to look at certain elements of design that are just the most minute details, like these random little motifs that repeated in a table pattern, or these random little flourishes on the side of a building that no one would even really notice unless you stopped to look at it specifically. So I've been looking at those things and taking the shapes that I like, taking the motifs that I like, anything that kind of speaks to me or that I think is really fascinating or beautifully designed, I will take the shape of it or actually just draw it on my paper. And I typically start with the head, then I go down to a body of some sort, then I go down to the legs or a tail or whatever it ends up being. But I've kept it very open. Like, some of them don't really have feet, some of them don't really have arms or legs. Some of them I've tried keeping all like the same kind of body and arms, but letting everything else be different. I don't know, I've just been having a blast trying to come up with different versions of this and really play around with it. I would love to expand on it and elaborate on it in a way, but I will just keep that to myself until I know what I want to do. I think there's some really interesting lessons to take away from the tutorial, and when Steve did it as well. Steve did his version and everyone got on board and did the the Cinderella that Steve had put together, and some of your takes on that were just so unbelievably fantastic, and I was just amazed at like the imagination and the creativity that comes out from something that's kind of obscure. And at the end of the day, you're kind of left looking at it thinking, do I even like this? Like, this isn't my aesthetic, or is this what I set out to do? Or not really. I mean, you're just kind of left with this random mix and match of elements that you find appealing in a way that, I think it's super fascinating to look at something and not know whether you like it or you don't like it. But I certainly look at this and I think I can't deny that there's something quite interesting about it, even if I don't particularly like the way that it looks. Like, I'm not really into fish bones. I know that I draw them as a motif, but I just like the idea of fish bones is weird, right? Like, it doesn't evoke good feelings in me, but I keep drawing it because there's something I really love about the delicacy of the the look of the spine. Like, I don't know, the idea that she's just grabbed this jellyfish and she wants to make it her pet, like, that's the story that kind of popped out to me. Now, I didn't conceptualize that before I sat down to do this, but just pulling elements from around me, like the polka dots were from a Minnie Mouse sticker, the fishbone were from Day 2's Mermaid, where they had fishbone earrings, the folds on the tail, that little fabric ruffle, was from a picture that I was looking at of a skirt. I mean, just these random things that I'm kind of putting together and drawing as I see them kind of came together and made their own story, which I just think is super fascinating. And I think it's just working all those imaginative, creative muscles and, really, really making that stronger so that you move forward in your creativity with more confidence. I know I certainly am. I think this is one of these things that's really, really boosting my confidence at the moment because it's something that has always seemed very foreign to me, these eclectic kind of, creature character things. But now that I'm kind of diving into it, I really am getting the confidence and have found really fun ways to do it. So that's just kind of what I wanted to share with you. I will think about expanding on it, especially by way of like children's book illustration. I think there's some real practical applications for it in that. But until then, I'll leave it for now. I hope you're enjoying MERMAY. Hope you enjoyed day 4. This is my piece. And until tomorrow, have a great day. Bye.